Watch his head.
His head been bleeding all night.
All right, but Jose, you can't bust him for the 1-2.
Well, as Ribalta gets ready to answer the bell here in round number 4, you saw Dr. Doggett lean in to see if he was satisfied that the eye would hold up, and indeed he is as we start round 4. Now, I guess one of the most important people in any corner when a cut appears is indeed the cut man.
Yeah, and Ed Aliano in Ribalta's corner, one of the finest in boxing. So if anyone can keep him in the fight, it is Ed Aliano. Now, they are asserting that that was a head, that clash of heads that made the cut happen. Very hard to tell from here at ringside, so we don't know. Whatever it is, it's given Coffey a lot of encouragement.
Ace Miller across the way, the trainer for Cecil Coffey. As he hit a big right. And again, Ribalta coming back here.
Now, here's the litmus test for Jose Ribalta. He's hitting Coffey with some thunderous right hand. The kind he used to knock out Nate Robinson, the kind we saw him hurt Jimmy Jones with. He's not knocking Coffey down. Coffey keeps coming. Can Ribalta put enough punches together to keep up the pace? You can see, I think, that Ribalta's shocked that he didn't hurt Coffey with those rights.
Break on the break.
We've just been given some words that indeed, after looking at some replays, which we have the benefit of, it appeared indeed to be an unintentional headbutt, but it did appear to be a headbutt that opened this cut.
Well, if that clash of heads happened, then it would be a betterment of Cecil Coffey, but apparently unintentional. Ooh, good right hand by Ribalta. Coffey holding on a little bit. Maybe a sign that some of those right hands are starting to get to him.
Whoa. Steve Smoger almost got in the way of a big right hand by Ribalta.
Find out if Steve's got a good chin or not.
He's sending to Smithville just up the road about 16 miles.
You know, Coffey has been committed to that body work, and if this fight continues to go and it's scheduled for 10, it's going to have a big impact, I think, later on.
Closing moments of the 4th round. The heavyweights are set to brawl for 10. You start to see them getting a little bit more into the brawling style here of the heavyweights. Big punches have been thrown throughout these early rounds.
Coffey now doing what he did in the Stokes fight, walking in with his hands down, his head up, and taking shots in order to get inside. But you know, Sam, even if he does this, I'll tell you, he could discourage Ribalta. He might lose some rounds doing it, but he may discourage Ribalta and get Jose perhaps fatigued and tired and maybe take control of this fight.
Al has pointed out, however, throughout the fight that chin of Coffey has already been well tested by Ribalta. He has thrown some big punches, but he's yet to put the big fella from Knoxville down.
We're going to find his home yet in this fight.
Somewhere we will. Geography will be correct.
Yeah, right.
Heavyweights battling to the end of round number 4. Top-ranked boxing back in a moment.
Round 3, here is where the cut occurred. They're on the inside. There, the heads banged together, and you'll see in a moment Ribalta wiping the blood from the left eye. So it looked pretty unintentional to me. Their heads were banging together in there, but that's where the cut came from.
That was back in round 3. This is the start of round 5 of the scheduled 10 round with the heavyweights. Cecil Coffey on the left, Jose Nino Ribalta on the right.
Straight right hand by Coffey. Now, if there's a punch that Coffey throws that could hurt Ribalta, I don't think it's the right hand. It is the left hook. Early in the fight, Coffey was setting down on his left hook very well. Hasn't done that in the last couple of rounds.
On that last clinch, you may or may not have been able to see it, but Coffey really looking right into the eyes of Ribalta as Ribalta throws that right that glances off the chin, as if to say, hey, I've taken everything so far.
Good left hook by Coffey. That's the punch I'm talking about. And blood is just showering all over ringside. Let's take a look at the scoring. You'll see that I've got the fight dead even, 2-2. And the last round I gave to Ribalta, and this round, Cecil Coffey is taking the action to him.
He's also taking some pretty good punches here by Ribalta, who's loaded up well with a couple of lefts. There's a right that slips over the top. May not look like it had a lot of power, but there's a left uppercut that got in.
They are really banging away. Both heavyweights are putting their punches together well and landing. This is going to be quite a test for Ribalta. I think probably came in here the favorite on most people's scorecards, including my scoring report or my scouting report. But he understands that this is a real test against Coffey, and Cecil Coffey is giving him a terrific effort.
Coffey stalking here in round 5. Indeed, are doing a good job with that cut over the left eye. It is, for the most part, not giving him that much trouble.
It's hard to tell, Sam, if that cut is bothering him. Ribalta is fighting a little lethargically. He's fighting fairly well, but not as aggressive as you might expect him to be at this point in the fight. You don't know if the cut's having some impact there. Now there's the left hook from Coffey. He is whipping those body shots. You can hear Ribalta grunt when he hits him with that left hook to the body.
Interesting note on Coffey. We asked him about his amateur record. He said he was 160-20. He said he lost about 20 fights or so. Said he was a silver medalist in the Junior Olympics, but never really did that well in the National Golden Gloves. Made it there 3 times, but was eliminated before the final. Closing seconds of round number 5. The cut back in the third on Ribalta has been well close. These two heavyweights mauling each other through the ends. We'll go to round 6. Our top-ranked boxing here from Atlantic City and Atlantis Hotel after this.
Cecil Coffey returned to the bodywork and big left hooks. And look at that one land to the right side of Jose Ribalta. He's going to feel those punches tomorrow, win, lose, or draw.
Cecil Coffey has been true to his game plan anyway. Wanted to come out and be very busy. Indeed, he has been. Ribalta has already felt the sting. And as we go into round 6, he continues to stalk the man from Cuba.
Coffey is keeping his hands up a little higher at this point than he was in the Stokes fight. He's been blocked with some good right hands, but there he blocked that uppercut because he had his hands in good fundamental position. I'll tell you what else this fight proves. It proves what a good heavyweight Andrew Stokes was. Ribalta's a guy who has feelings that he might be in the top 10 in the world, and he's having a tough time with Cecil Coffey. And I don't know if it's so much that Coffey's fighting better than he did against Stokes, and maybe Stokes is just real quick as a heavyweight.
Coffey has been the aggressor. You know, one of the comments they made at the weigh-in is you see Coffey wading in with a good combination. Ribalta countered with one punch of his own. They said that Ribalta was very much of a controlled fighter, but right now it is Coffey who has control of the fight, but Ribalta is still looking for that one punch. He's still looking to load up and trying to do it off the counterpunch more than being the aggressive fighter he is.
Well, Ribalta is a careful fighter, and I pointed out to him, I said, some people would say you're not busy enough. And he said, no, because I'll get the guy. Well, he may get most fighters, but if he's looking for a knockout against Cecil Coffey, and he may get it, but it is unlikely because he takes the punch so well. And we saw in that last, good right hand. Well, I may have spoken too early. He just stunned him with the right hand.
Got him with the right and followed it with a pretty good left hand that also did some damage on Coffey.
Good right by Coffey. The point I'm making is that Ribalta needs to put his punches together against a fighter like Coffey.
Coffey now, contrasting to rounds, say 2, 3, and 4, where he was doing some damage, most of those punches are starting to become more of the roundhouse type, obviously with the fatigue set again. Not as crisp, still having a lot of power, that 220 pounds plus behind it, but not quite as crisp, quite obviously, here in the later rounds.
That's happening mostly in the punches to the head. To the body, he's still getting leverage, but to the head, yes, he is like that one. They're kind of looping, and they're not getting in there as effectively.
Let me preface any further remarks by saying I'm outside the ring at ringside, and they're up inside that 22-foot square. 30 seconds to go here in round 6.
See Coffey still trying to dig to the body. Ribalta waiting to hammer him with another right hand. There's a good jab by Ribalta, but when he does so, Coffey's able to shake those punches off.
Coffey fighting well against Ribalta, and they'll continue.
In the last round, another right hand from Jose Ribalta. Boom on the head of Cecil Coffey. It did not hurt him, or at least it didn't show any real bad effect on him.
Ribalta in the red trunks, Coffey in the blue. Ribalta has his mouthpiece well back in place once again after landing in front of us here at ringside, being knocked out by Coffey near the end of that last round.
It almost landed in our cup of coffee here. You know, Ed Aliano's done a wonderful job on the cut over the left eye of Jose Ribalta. And now there is a cut on the left eye, under the left eye of Cecil Coffey.
Ribalta, big right hand, big left hand. Coffey almost coming to the ropes at us here at ringside. That's a nasty cut over the left eye now, or just on the outside of the left eye by Coffey.
So that kind of evens things up. Oh, clubbing right hand by Ribalta. Good combination by Jose Ribalta.
Ribalta, who almost looked like to be totally on the defense, now is starting to land that big right hand.
Coffey now needs to fight right off the chest of Ribalta, where he is now, where those big bombs can't hurt him. He needs to work his way in. Yes, that's right there. And then bang the body of Ribalta. He's safe in there. Threw a little elbow in there for good measure, did Coffey. This is good strategy by Coffey. He might not even win the round doing that, but he'll survive it, and that's important for him.
Well, the golden boy from Canada, of course, super middleweight Johnny Lalonde, said sometimes you got to get out and pick your punches, and in almost sharp contrast, Coffey's got to go inside where he's got to get off the chest. He wants no room.
At least right now, while he's getting picked apart by Ribalta from the outside.
Good right hand, countered right hand.